Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Matt from the Sim Racers Arms, and you join me today at Upton Park in my go-to car, which is the Caterham Superlight. It tends to be the car that I jump into to try out any new track, and it's the car I tend to have the most fun in. The problem is with Automobilista 2, the selection we have now with cars and tracks is so vast. There's not one car on the top of the list. There's so many that share that spot, including the GTEs and the GT3s. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but I do enjoy driving those cars, and even the prototypes. Really enjoy some of the prototypes as well. So the question is, if you're not subscribed, you won't get to see my community questions, and the one I asked recently is, what's your go-to car? And sneaking out in the front so far, it's the GTE, and it tends to be people are people are selecting the Porsche GTE, and I understand why. It's a relatively straightforward car to drive, although the tyres do get heated if you slide it around too much. So if you want to see my community questions and the polls that I put on there and any latest updates, I'd really suggest that you support my channel, and if you haven't already, give a little subscribe. And the question is this the random combo selected by the randomizer? And I'm afraid not. I'd love it to be. It's the combination I enjoy, along with the Caterham at Donington. So without further ado, let's jump into the randomizer to see what this week's challenge is going to be. So here we are in the randomizer, and as you can see, it says click 2 times. That's so you can see that it is actually random. So there's 1 click and there's 2 clicks. So the Buenos Aires number 12 in the Copa Montana. And what I'd ask at this point is, if you really want to support the channel, I mentioned before, there's another way you can do it, and that's to watch this video in its entirety, and that tells YouTube that it's getting good watch time retention, and that helps YouTube spread it to other people. I know the temptation is to jump to this particular bit where I select the random car and track, but to show your support, please watch the entire video. It makes the world of difference to the channel. So without any further ado, we'll jump into Automobilista 2, and we'll come away from Alton Park and the lovely Superlight Caterham, and it was Buenos Aires number 12. So it's kind of the outer loop, and it was the Copa Montana. And as you can see, because of the championship I was taking place in, I've done a custom skin. If you do want to see a tutorial on how to do liveries, I can put a tutorial onto YouTube if there's enough requests for it. So request down below if it's something you'd like to see. So if we go into camera mode, we can have a look round the car, and it's quite striking. So I quite enjoyed the process of doing the custom livery. It did take some doing, and a lot of kind of steps to the process, so it takes a little time. So there we go. So we'll jump back and we'll select this car, and we'll get on with the 3-lap challenge. We've got 3 people who have attempted this combination before. I have no idea how quick these times are, although I would guess that Ale Rossi is not a bad time if he's 3.7 seconds ahead. So we'll select him as a ghost, and we'll select number 2 as a ghost, just so we've got a guide as to how we're doing as we go around. So here we are. Regulars to the 3-lap challenge series on my YouTube channel will know that I'm going to setups and then do a default setup. I drop the gain down, drop the fuel down, And the only other thing I changed is the brake pressure. So here we go. Haven't driven this pickup truck for quite a while now. Concentrating. Trying to remember how it drove, how it felt. So Mr. Rossi ahead has got the same livery as me, which will be nice to watch go around ahead of me. Hopefully I can get in front at some point. And this Copa Montana does have a push to pass boost button, but it only activates after the first lap of the race, and it's not activated during qualifying or hot lapping. Oh, stop. Don't want all of that. That's better. No, it's not. Yep, that's better. Right, let's get going. So we'll have another lap of just getting ourselves acquainted with the car and the track. Tend to go really wide there too often. Scrubbed off too much speed through there. Catching the second place, man. And I do suspect that the car in front, the current record holder, has set a fairly decent time. That was better. Right, concentrate now, get our braking point correct for the fast chicane that we're coming up to at the end of this really long straight. In the races, these cars have got quite a good drag. Slightly better, we can be a bit more committed through there though. And that big juicy V8 sounds great, and these drive really good. If you've never driven these Copa Montanas before, they are really nice to drive. There's something about them. They're nice and weighty, just under 370 brake horsepower. A good amount of downforce, so they're quite balanced in that respect, and they weigh 1.3 tons, which is kind of in the middle of what race cars tend to weigh, so they're a serious piece of racing kit. Change down too early. Got there to drive it. I think the guy in front's running far less downforce than me on the default settings. He's pulling away down this straight, rides quicker into that first fast S's. Oh, I've missed my braking. I could have done me staying in third there. I had to take second just to get it stopped. We're up on our previous time, but we're certainly not going to catch this guy in front. Playing with the throttle. You can be a little bit eager there, coming out of the hairpin on the throttle, and you'll spin it really easily. And that was our third lap. So let's drop out to the leaderboards and see if I set a competitive lap time for you guys to chase. So there we go. Ale Rossi, as I suspected, had set a pretty good lap. I think there's a few of you guys out there with a few settings tweaked and a bit more practice, you'll definitely beat that guy. I can see 138, maybe into the 130, high 137s. Go on guys, surprise me, get in there. If you have been watching, give us a like please, and if you wouldn't mind dropping a comment down below if you take up this challenge. And if you have been watching, thank you very much, and until the next time, goodbye.